Thank all of you for your ongoing kindness, both in person and online. The feedback has been pretty much 100% positive. You guys are really sharing this amazing vibe with the world at large, and we really appreciate it. The organizers of ConAgeddon really appreciate it. The actors are loving it. Again, if you are live tweeting, which we love, if you could provide a little bit of context, that would be amazing, because context matters, and it makes everyone look brighter and shinier when you provide that. And we appreciate you choosing kindness in person and online. And also, just to remind you, there are 2 pop sets up for bid in the Cancer Gets Lost silent auction here for attendees only. There is a Bellamy and Clark set and a custom Lexa and Clark set, and they're both going to be signed today by Bob and Eliza live here on stage, and you have till 4 o'clock to bid. All you need is a credit card or PayPal if you're interested, and there's also the online charity auction going on. But really, without further ado, I think we're going to roll a video that you might like about Mr. Murphy. Yeah!
Don't worry about John Murphy.
Nice meeting you here.
Survive.
Where's the fighter?
Cockroaches do, right?
The fighter's not surviving. I'm just trying to survive.
I am a survivor.
That's when people leave, they don't come back.
Since when are we in the rescue business?
Screw you. Go to hell, David.
Tell you when you've got that.
This is what mystery is. I'll survive.
Again.
I have to. Let's be good guys.
Let me see the light in the dark tree shadows. What's happening?
Hell yeah. Murphy sucks. John. Did you end up getting some bad guy? I wasn't asleep. People, I did my part.
He's being John Murphy.
The hell out of here. Well, baby. Come back to the group. I'm more hard to kill. No deal.
Gentlemen, Richard Harmon! Good morning, how are you? Oh, this microphone's down. Testing, oh, there we go. Hello, welcome to ConAgeddon2 Day 2. How are you, Richard? Okay, great. What now? All right. You're not turned on, that's what he said. He literally did. Okay, standing by, tech. Try this. Try this. There you go, buddy. Happy St. Patty's Day to ya.
The top of the morning to you.
And did you have a good time last night?
I actually just went to bed.
Yes,
I passed out, and then I woke up at midnight. It was like, damn it. And then I just was sitting in my bed up until 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, did you watch any YouTube cat videos or anything?
No, never.
No? What's your go-to of choice if you want to chill at night and watch something fun?
Hippos.
You don't want to have nightmares, I do that. I don't know, I probably watch some Notre Dame highlights. And,
See, you got your people.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Go Irish.
Go Irish.
Fucking A.
If you weren't at ConAgeddon, what would you be doing for St. Patty's Day?
Can you say?
What time does the day end? 6 p.m.?
6.
Same thing I'll be doing at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And
Excellent.
same thing I'll probably be quietly doing through the day.
Got it. Noted.
Well,
Jameson.
It's a little early for that now, though that's not my, you know.
Too early.
Oh. He has, oh, he had a USC hat and he threw it in the crowd.
You get that thing away from me about 30 feet.
Oh boy.
There's no chance it's coming anywhere near me, but
So, if this.
you want to bring that to me on my day? Go Irish. You bring me a Trojan hat? Go let in some more people for $500,000 who don't deserve to be in your school.
Michigan jersey too.
Oh, I didn't even know that's what that was. That Brady one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember playing Brady. Like, I remember watching the games when they were kind of going up against each other. I never thought he was all that. Like, he was, like, fine. University was fine, and then he just became, you know, otherworldly.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I don't think anyone did.
No, we gave you our coach, and then you guys come.
Who?
We're shit talking Irish already. It's just happening.
Weiss is not your coach. She went to Notre Dame.
He was our offensive coordinator
I'll
during
give
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, when he crushed for you guys, but he's a Notre Dame grad. He was always supposed to come to Notre Dame. And I was a big fan of Charlie, actually. Offensive genius. Just sort of, he wasn't the best at cultivating young boys into being men.
He did great.
Brady, and I wish Brady kind of worked out. I thought it would. Anyway, most people don't know college football.
Football.
I mean, actually, I'm in the
Football,
States.
hippos, bubbles, it's a thing, Richard. We're good. We're gonna actually start some fan questions online, and then I'm gonna let all these lovely people get in line to talk to you because that's what they're here
Yeah,
for.
okay.
All right. So at Murphy's Raven, which is a Twitter name, I love it.
Let's see where this one's going.
Do you think Murphy's relationships with some of the other characters grow stronger in season 6 that may not have been as strong before?
Do they name Raven?
Do you think Raven? Probably.
Yeah, I think, without giving anything away, obviously, which is what I think every single one of us has started every single answer to a question this weekend. Without giving anything away, there will be some relationships that strengthen and then weaken, and then others relationships that weaken and then strengthen, and others that weaken and then further weaken, and others that strengthen and then solidify.
Who's on first?
Seriously.
I'm not saying.
Spoken like a true politician.
Totally.
Listen, that's it.
At Arc Delinquent would like to know, what songs are on your Murphy playlist?
Yeah, that's a very popular question. Ever since I mentioned that I make a playlist for every character, it's sort of, that's become one of the most frequently asked questions is that, if I had my iPod on me, I would go through it, but it's in the hotel room. I think I said the other day that I think the main one for this season is a song called Villain by David Ramirez. I think that's like the ultimate Murphy song. It's kind of about accepting who you are as a villain and giving up something that you love, and knowing that like the next person come along, it's like he's gonna love you better than I did, but just because he's a hero doesn't mean he needs to know I'm the villain. And I thought that was so good for Murphy. So that. Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood by Nina Simone's a big one on there. There's so many. There's 550 songs on the playlist. It's just too many.
Do you think John Murphy considers himself a bad guy?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
That has
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
part.
Richard Harmon, think of him as a bad guy?
No. No. I don't think there are bad guys. Maybe there aren't bad guys.
Maybe there are no good guys, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. At Get Some Sleep, which is a great Twitter name. I'd like to know.
Is this, these people always tell me to go to bed when it's like 7 p.m. Richard, go to bed.
So they have a whole Twitter account.
Or like I'll be in like Japan and it's like, go to bed. And like it's 2 in the afternoon. You're drunk, go to sleep.
Yeah.
What else is new?
This is a two-part question.
Sure.
Does Murphy continue to isolate himself from others and his friends, or will we get to see bonding other than love interests, and in particular, Clark and Murphy's semi-friendship?
So hold on.
Okay, let me go back. Are you going to continue to isolate yourself?
Okay, yeah, I got that part.
Yeah. Are you going to bond with characters other than love interests? We kind of got to that earlier.
Right, being a more.
And then, will we see the return of Clark and Murphy's semi-friendship?
That's what I was Okay, 1 a.m. Yeah, I think depending on the time of the season, Murphy will always Murphy, and there'll be times where he will have to isolate himself for his own self-preservation, and sometimes the preservation of others. I would say, without giving anything away, I think the dynamic between Clark and Murphy is a very important part of season 6, without giving anything away. The two of us together, a lot rides on that, actually, without giving anything away. A lot ride. If you like Clark and Murphy, then it's a very interesting season for you.
Excellent, excellent. See, you got.
Don't say excellent yet.
We'll ask Eliza about that later, but it'd be great. Yeah. And if you guys want to start lining up, do we have a mic set? So we're having some technical difficulties this morning, so we're going to have someone run a mic around, perhaps Heather, because she's awesome and sitting in the front row. Thank you. Well, Richard and I can just pass one back and forth if there's that. We're just technical difficulties.
No, right here.
They do have a con, what do you expect, right? So in the meantime, while we figure that out,
We do have an extra mic.
All right.
I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah, they can just pass it off.
Questions?
So the last question I have from online,
All right.
actually this isn't from online, this is from me. Can you tell us about The Return and how and when fans can see it?
Oh, very fun. Yeah, The Return is a thriller that I did last year.
Thank you.
Shooting in Winnipeg, who actually, the girl, the woman who played my girlfriend on that movie, will be appearing in the 100th season.
Ooh, what's the actress's
Sarah
name?
Thompson, but that's not a spoiler because Jason already tweeted it. Yeah, it's like as soon as it's like, okay, Jason said it, then I'm like, then I can just at least follow that. I won't say what her character is, she's a very interesting character. And they couldn't find the like kind of an actor that they wanted for it. And they kept trying different people and it wasn't working. And I was like, I just worked with this wonderful actress in Winnipeg. You should check it out. So they asked her to put it on tape, and Jason texted me 10 minutes later. It was like, she's a star. We're hiring her. He's like, I told you, she's great. So that was pretty cool, especially when you can get kind of friends opportunities when they deserve them. And she definitely does. But back to The Return, it's about my character goes back to his childhood home for the first time in a couple of years after his dad dies, who's the last kind of living relative he has. And he just sort of has to face the demons of the house, both literally and figuratively.
Okay, when will that be out?
We don't know. It's finishing editing like in the next month or so. But Woodland, which I did, is premiering, its US premiere in Newport Beach Film Festival. So if anyone's in California, come to that in May, because that'll be lovely.
And one other thing I want to ask you about, which is, what is Anderson Falls?
Anderson Falls is a very cool crime thriller that I did last year, literally directly after The Return. I didn't have any time to go back home. I shot in Winnipeg for a month and a half. That wrapped. I was in pretty much every scene of The Return, and they had to not have me in the last day of shooting, so I couldn't even wrap out with everyone because I had to fly down to LA to start shooting Anderson Falls, and they had to wrap out without me, and it was very sad. But Anderson Falls is it's a crime thriller about this detective who is kind of on the hunt for a couple serial killers, and I may or may not be one of those two people. And I got to work with Sean Ashmore, who is such a nice guy, and Gary Cole, who's been like an idol of mine.
Gary Cole from Office Space?
Yes, and so many other things. He plays my dad.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
he's great on Veep, too.
He's incredible, and he's one of the funniest, most like professional people you'll ever meet. I love working with him.
And do we know when Anderson Falls will be available?
No idea.
Okay, great. We'll just pay attention. We'll tweet that out.
Yeah, that's an interesting film though. The way we shot it was unlike any other movie I've ever shot in my life.
Nice.
I don't think I remember getting one close-up the entire film. I don't think anyone did. 5 of the scenes I can recall, like off the top of my head, were oneers, which means that you don't cut. It's one camera shot the entire time.
Oh, wow.
And we shot the climax of the movie, which is like the 7-minute scene, all in one shot.
Sounds great.
It was so much fun.
Awesome.
I'm very curious to see it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to open up to fan questions. Tom there has the mic, and we're going to start over here. Here we go.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Hi, my name is Allison, and I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite snack on the craft table?
Like, is there something you go for that's
Good question. I try not to eat the crap.
Wow.
When I work, I don't eat a ton. It's that my nerves are kind of up and my adrenaline's running so high that my appetite's just really never there. But we do get Timbits every once in a while, which
What is that?
Canada. In Canada, it's like a donut hole. Yeah, that's what you guys call it here. So you get like a box of them from Tim Hortons. Which is pretty good.
Munchkin here. Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Munchkins.
Next question.
Tim Hortons is not better than anything, but and just like that, I'm not allowed back in Canada. They heard I said that, they're like, "You said what about Tim?" Oh, hey, bud, what did you say about Tim's? What did you say about Timmy Ho's, man? No, I'm never going back home. Yeah, so sometimes I'll pop one or two of those in the morning if I'm having a cigarette and a coffee. I might throw down a Timbit
Nice.
as well.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next question, Tom. Do we have the next question?
Yeah, so I was wondering, given that it's St. Patrick's Day, if you could talk a little bit about Murphy's relationship with alcohol, because we really only see him either drinking socially or totally bombed when he's like trapped in the bunker. So do you think that he has that gene, or is that something that...
Spoiler alert, season 6 is a great drinking season for me. I remember at one point I was like, I bet he's just drunk like all the time. And I won't say why.
I'm just going to
Could be
assume.
the good kind or the bad kind, who knows?
I'm just going to assume that spaceship, because it had all those guys on it, maybe had a good stock of alcohol on it.
Yeah, you don't know what the new planet's got going on.
Ooh, and you don't have Monty to make a moonshine, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Too soon. Sorry, guys.
Too soon. We all miss it. We all
Fresh,
miss it.
Another question, here we go.
But good question. I'm going to keep going on that with his relationship to alcohol, and that's totally fair and valid. I think it's an escape. I think it's an unhealthy escape for him, as it has been for so many people in life. I mean, I'm a social drinker. I enjoy drinking, but I definitely am not proud enough to say that there hasn't been one or two times in my life where I've probably used alcohol for the wrong reasons, and in sadness and in anger, and it generally does not work out well when those two things go hand in hand. So either for Murphy and for anyone else kind of exploring that road, I'd say just kind of look into yourself first and try to work it out without the alcohol, because it doesn't really help. So that's my PSA for today.
On St. Patty's.
I was as well, like I was supposed to get some Jameson out of here.
I'm sure that could be handled.
That's, oh my god, that was such a sober answer.
Yeah, totally.
Morning.
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 My question is, if you could only say one word for the entire day, what word would it be?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Richard, I also have something for you. It's to deal with yesterday.
What is that? I think the word would be
Oh, you're gonna laugh.
cute. Because you can use it so many different ways. Cute.
Like, I am cute. I am Groot. You could just say that word, cute.
Cute. I can say it sarcastically, I'll have Matt say something to me that I won't like.
You're so boring sober, Richard.
Cute. That's acting. Woo! This is a flying hippo. What nightmares are Thank you so much.
That's nice.
Oh my god. Well, let's see theirs. Yeah, not even remotely as terrifying.
Oh,
Next question.
That kind of has its place in fear as well. So that's
thank you. Next question.
Yes.
Hi, I was wondering what your current favorite song and dance move is.
Favorite song?
And dance move.
Favorite song is Ballad of the Man by Bob Dylan. Always has been. Favorite dance move? I don't know. I I just keep my hands like.
Okay.
I'm not taking up too much room on the dance floor. I'm kind of keeping to myself.
Sway.
Someone I know hates that move a lot, and I hope she sees it.
She probably will now.
Can't stand it.
Okay, excellent.
Next question.
Take
Hey
that.
Richard, I got a question for you. I'm the
Yes.
date girl from yesterday.
Hi.
And you know how I feel about Murphy being like, chaos and everything else. Did you ever think when you were making your character to kind of invoke Loki, the god of mischief, ever so slightly?
I never did. I'll tell you exactly what it was from season 1 onward. It was season 1 on the pilot, I knew I had to make something out of him to have fun with it since I was dying in episode 2. So I was like, okay, let's just at least have fun. So I saw it in what he has such a cushy position underneath Bellamy where he doesn't need to sort of put his neck out there. It's kind of like the head of the snake will always get chopped off, which would have been Bellamy. But Murphy continuously puts himself and tries to get more and more and more and more. So I saw it as kind of Lucifer, the god where he had everything, he had it all, and he just got so greedy that eventually he gets banished and kicked out. So that's exactly what happened. And then season 2 onward, where Jason told me, he's like, I kind of want to keep you around, and I was like, I would love to stay. He's like, you kind of need to gain a little bit of favor with the audience because they hate you so much. I was like, that's what you told me to do. You wanted a bad guy. I gave you a bad guy. I gave you a hateable bad guy. So I was like, cool. Give me just a little bit of time, and I guarantee you, I think I can get them back.
And you did.
I think I did. But I was like, he needs to still be an asshole. I don't want to take that away from him. He's not a good person, but he can be likable. And I was like, who's like that? So ever since then, I have based my character so fully and like ripped it off Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Murphy, I was just like, he's Vegeta. He's just Vegeta. He's just this dick who's just like, you're like, I like that guy. He's cute. Cute.
All right. We got another one in the back.
Cute. Yes.
Hey, so one thing I always observe about Murphy is how he just has a great energy, and it doesn't matter what character you put him in a scene with. You always have great chemistry with the actor and Murphy and that character. There's just an interesting jolt to that scene, whether it's someone like, I don't know, Abby that he's had maybe 2 or 3 scenes with, or obviously someone like Amori who you've had a ton of scenes with. Is there any particular character or a couple of characters that you think he has a really good rip with? And I guess I'll take Amori out of the equation.
Sure, yeah, Amori's the obvious one. Good question.
Or actors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is a combination of both between character and actor. Because sometimes you can rip off someone brilliantly because of the actor, and sometimes it's just the character is so well suited to play off your own character, which probably kind of lends itself to either one. Thank you for saying that, and I've always said that about the character of Murphy, and that's what I kind of pride him as. Is before I became a series regular on the show, I was like, he's just a great accessory. You just put him into anyone's storyline. He's not going to be the main part of the storyline. That's what the leads are there for. But he's going to spice up that thing so well. He can just fit. He'll fit in and kind of add a little chaos and add a little something, a little splash of comedy every once in a while. Sadness, tears, I can cry like a madman. So I think, but to answer your question, Bellamy and Murphy is like my favorite relationship on the show. Just the way that they interact and the kind of like the brotherhood they have after everything they come from being like partners in crime to, by the end of season 1, anytime we were in the same room as each other, we would try to kill each other, no matter what. Like we were mortal enemies. And I've kind of always said, I thought if one of us had to die, it had to be by the other person's hand, even though we love each other now, and it probably wouldn't be in like anger. It would just have to be like if Murphy goes crazy or something like that, like it has to be Bellamy who puts him down. It would have to be. It's the only way. So I think Bellamy, I think just what me and Bobby created over it, and it's both like in real life and in our friendship. Me and Bob are incredibly close as people. We talk every day, and we just send each other "I love yous" just to be okay. But it's not even like getting it on. Like that's true. It's just like, hey man, I love you, and just like hope everything's good. If something's going on with either one of us, we always check in. And we have that relationship, and I'm very lucky to have that with a guy like Bob, who's such a great dude and a phenomenal actor.
Here, here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
First, just wanted to say Murphy is my husband's favorite character.
Your husband's
Relates
to
to him the most. Proudly calls himself an asshole.
Yeah, there you go. I do too.
So this is kind of on his behalf, but if Murphy were to ever be in a situation again where there was a time of peace, would he be able to now fight his demons and be functional, or do you think that he would go back down that road again and give in and just isolate himself and destroy himself?
That's a great question. I feel like I want to say he'd be able to fight it because he is a fighter and I think he can fight through anything. But I don't believe that to be the case with him. I think his demons are such an important part of him. And like, don't take that if someone's going through something, don't take that as something, like, don't take that on yourself. Please, don't take that as what I'm saying is that. I think he's a very specific type of person who his demons, after so long, have become such an integral part of who he is that sort of, it's like Venom, like the character of Venom, like it's sort of like it's connected to him and it makes him better. His poison that is inside of him, that little vial of poison that he has, when he tips it, like it feels good when he lets it spills into his veins, it feels good to him and he can get anything he wants when he does that. Him trying to be a good person, it dries that up, and it's kind of like withdrawal for him, like from a drug. So yeah, I don't know, and there would have to be like a therapist involved, because like he needs help. The kid needs help. He really does. He's not a happy person, and there are ways to get help, obviously. So I don't know if, unfortunately, in the world of the 100, that help is readily available for someone like him. I think if he was living in our time, I would hope that he would get the help that he needs. And then in that case, I think he probably could fight it and be better. But I don't know if in the 100, that's what's gonna happen for him.
Right.
I don't want it to happen for him either. He's more fun to play the way that he is. I just want him to be there being like, he's chill, man, he's cool.
It'd be weird if Murphy was normal.
Yeah, he could be adorable sometimes. Cute. Good, really good question. And I hope I answered it aptly.
Hi. In season 5, a lot of people compared Murphy's character to McCreary's character.
Yeah.
What do you think Murphy's perspective on McCreary is, and do you think he relates to him in any way?
He respects him. It's a weird thing, but he does. Like, he totally respects him. He doesn't like him, but he respects him. He gets it. And I wish there was more. That's one of the relationships on the show that I wish. Someone asked a question yesterday. If it was like there's one thing you could change, that's what I would change. I think I wish that we had had more time to work those two together. But we have so many characters on the show, you can't always, get everything. I'm sure that's a storyline that Jason would have loved to have explored. But we don't have all the time in the world to tell these stories. We have 13 episodes and a very concise story to tell.
Career made Murphy look like the Boy Scout in comparison. I mean, he was
Yeah, but like that's the thing. It's like he's got that vial of poison in him, like I'm talking about. McCreary let his tip over and just seep years ago, and Murphy could do that in time if he let it. But he's trying to actively not tip that vial and not go to his true nature, which is get what he wants through any means necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, McCreary, and man, William Miller just.
It's your brother.
He's my brother. He crushed that character so much.
I wanted to echo something Twitter Tom here, going to say something real quick that touched me that Richard just said. A lot of us come from dysfunctional families, and I come from a very dysfunctional family, and there's nothing wrong with counseling. There's nothing wrong with going to see somebody. If you've got a problem, go talk about it. It's okay, because it's what gets you through the next level of life. So don't ever be afraid to go get counseling or to talk to somebody. It might save your life.
And I'm so glad that you took it that way. Because I'm trying to, because I knew when I started playing that part of him, especially in season 5 when I had to figure out why the whole breakup with Amori happened. I was like, well, what sense does it make? And when obviously these things are eating away at him and he has nothing to help. I knew as soon as I made that decision that it's like, I know so many people personally in my life who are affected by these problems, and there's kind of, it's very rare you'll get me to give like a very serious answer, but that's an important thing, and there's sort of a lot of responsibility when you play something like that to not betray it and the truth of it. So when I answer questions like that, I hope I do it justice, because I know that it's not an easy thing.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, Murphy's not the be all and all of it. There's help out there. He can't get it, but it's a TV show, and it's fun for him to be fucked up. If you have problems, go get help. There's help. And I have so many friends, the older I get, there's more people who are closer to me who are in therapy, and it's such a good thing. Yeah, you just, like, there's so much help, and reach out and go get it. Murphy can, because it's fun for him not to. This is real life. It's so worth living. It's so worth doing right and happy. I'm a very happy person in real life. Like, I'm nothing like Murphy. So go get it if you need it. It's out there.
Hi. So I recently watched or rewatched If I Had Wings.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. It was absolutely breathtaking. I cried the first time and I cried on my rewatch. So
Yeah, you did.
I just wanted to know a little bit about maybe how you prepared for your role and what it was like filming that role.
Sure. So for anyone who's in the dark about this, If I Had Wings is a movie I did, oh my God, six years ago now probably, where I play a blind cross-country runner in high school who wants to be on his cross-country team, but none of the jocks want to run with him because he obviously needs a guide. So he kind of, there's a situation where like the real rough kid in school, he gets into trouble a lot. He's an Aboriginal kid. He's got a really good heart, but he's sort of gone down a bad path. And they give him one, he can run though, so they give him one last chance before getting expelled to run with me. So it's kind of like an odd couple situation where we don't like each other at first, and then we kind of end up, we love each other. It's the best. In order to be on the team, and we're like the two outcasts, and none of the jocks really like us, but we kind of, we try to work favor in there. So that's the movie that you're referring to, and it was so much fun. One of the greatest challenges of my life was again, like playing like mental health. Playing blind is like, this is a real thing. Like, I'm not going to betray that either. That is a responsibility to that when you play it. So what I did for it to make it right, I took kind of like, I got my walking the cane early on in the process, so I could just like practice just to move the switching between legs when you walk, just so it looked natural. I went to movies a bunch of times, and I blindfolded myself in the movie theater so I could pick up audio cues better, watch some documentaries on it. I didn't really watch any other actor try to do it. Like, I've seen Send Up Worlds, and these are all great performances. But there's so much content out there with real blind people that I don't think I need to watch another actor do it. I could just watch real people do it. So I think I learned from that a lot. I would go running with my friend David, blindfolded. So I would hold on to him like we did in the movie. And I noticed it would change your running style, absolutely. So I didn't run normally in the movie because he's kind of more upright than I would run, because you wouldn't lead forward, even though no matter how long you've been blind, you wouldn't lead forward. You'd be so susceptible to hitting something. So you'd be a little trepidatious, so I kind of ran more upright. And then sometimes we'd go to an open field and he'd stay on the other end of the field and I would just run and he'd like direct me by myself. So that was a ton of fun and a great challenge. And my dad actually directed that movie. That's the one time I've worked with my parents. And it was my mom's like passion project. So we did that. My sister played the coach. She did admirable. And yeah, it was so much fun. And just to see the happiness on my mom's face when we finished it and we watched it and she just cried her eyes out. Just to see that on my mom, who spent so many years trying to make that movie, was it's going to be one of the best moments of my career forever.
Yeah. We have time for one more question. I apologize.
Is that quick?
Yeah, dude, it's almost 11.
That was an hour?
Mesmerizing.
Wow. I'm giving long answers to that. Real serious answers. Look how different this is today.
say thank you for playing beer pong with me. I want a rematch next year if you come back.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question is, Murphy is a very intelligent person. He can, fit in any situation you put him in. So if Murphy was in this time, what kind of career do you think he'd be like? I'm thinking like FBI or something. Or do you think he'd be a criminal?
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think someone gave this question yesterday, I said he would be unemployed. Because of just his attitude, I don't think I could see him going to a job interview and ever get it, like ever not pissing the person off who he was interviewing for. But FBI is an interesting take. He could have that, because you're right, he is, and thank you for saying that, he's incredibly smart. I remember in the pilot they wrote it as they're like, him and John number 1, John number 2, like dumb as posts. It's like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't see that. I think he's incredibly smart. I don't think he's school smart because he's been locked up most of his life. But I think he's insanely clever, and he's a chess player, so I always thought of him like that. He's just always seeing what the other person is doing. He could always win chess too, like in life, but he does have that anger problem that does betray him sometimes, where he will skip a move that he knows he should make and just jump right into like, checkmate. It's like, no, it's not checkmate, you lose. But I mean, he's living his best life, not really.
I think that we can all agree that, what Murphy started out as and what Murphy is now, we haven't even seen season 6, is entirely because of Richard Harmon. I mean, this guy. The character development and the arc, and everyone is so invested in you as a character individually, but also you and Amori and your friendships and your broships, and it's amazing. And let's just thank Richard Harmon for being here.
Thank you for being here as well. That's an Irish lullaby.
Next up will be Zach at some point. In the next few minutes, potentially. We'll see.